Hi, this video is a follow-up to the one I made a while ago called "Is the 4ocean bracelet a scam?" If you haven't watched that video in full, you should probably do so now, or else you might not understand some of the points I make in this one. Anyway, on July 11th, someone from 4ocean left a comment on my video providing answers to a few of the questions I raised. That comment is pinned below the video, so you can read it for yourself if you like. Here, I'll just summarize the most salient points from it. 1. The founders of 4ocean have each taken only 0.7% of revenue in total compensation, meaning 98.6% of revenue is being reinvested in 4ocean's mission, and the owners are going to submit their individual tax returns to the Better Business Bureau to verify these numbers. Point number 2, the trash tracker on their website is far ahead of bracelet sales, meaning they've actually cleaned up more than 1 pound for each bracelet sold. 3. The explanation for the mysterious ocean plastic recovery vessel is that it's just not ready yet. They're tied up with modifications and certifications, but they still have great hope for the vessel in the future. So if those points are explanation enough for you, you can stop watching this video right now, maybe click dislike on your way out, but if you're dying to hear my take on them, then here we go. We'll start by talking a bit about that income. Only taking 0.7% of revenue is pretty impressive, I must say. I saw some comments below the 4ocean comment saying, well, 0.7% of how much? If you made $1 billion, then 0.7% is still 7 million. No. The point was never just the absolute sum of money they've taken. The point is indeed the proportion. What percentage is going to the mission? What percentage is going to the owners? And if they're really each only taking 14 cents for every $20 bracelet sale, that is pretty damn good. However, I'm not sure that figure of 0.7% should be taken at face value, because I think it's possible that 4ocean's owners have only taken that much in salary to date, but there remains a large allocation of profit for each of them which they could distribute to themselves at a later date. I'm not totally certain of that. I did some research into how LLCs can distribute profit to their owners, and it's still a bit fuzzy to me. If you're more educated on that subject, please leave a comment below. If your comment is good, I'll pin it to the top. Anyway, I'm not making an accusation here. I'm only suggesting that these numbers of 0.7% and 98.6% may not be telling the whole story. And it appears that 4ocean isn't planning to tell the whole story, because they say here, since we're a private company, we don't publicly share financials. I've seen this same line from them in some other comments, like on this Trustpilot page, and I find it kind of odd and evasive. I mean, I get it. As a privately held company, you're not legally required to disclose financial information, but you could, couldn't you? And I think they should. I think they should not only tell us how much salary the founders have drawn, I think they should show exactly where the money goes in the organization, kind of like Ecosia does. And I think they should do this not in order to prove that they are saints or something, but simply in order for consumers like you and me to be able to make an informed decision about whether or not to support them with a $20 purchase. Now, let me provide a comparison to illustrate what I mean by informed decision. Last week, I bought this bottle of Bowmore single malt scotch. Now, I don't feel the people running Bowmore need to be transparent with their financial information, because when I bought this bottle, I could also look at bottles of Laphroaig, Lagavulin, Glenmorangie, Macallan, loads of other scotches. I could compare prices and even sample some of them. Plus, Bowmore is not making any promise to me, explicit or implicit, about anything beyond providing a tasty dram of whiskey. I felt I had all the information I needed to decide whether or not the $40 I paid for this bottle was money well spent. And I don't feel that's the case with 4ocean. As far as I know, there's not a lot of competition in the selling merchandise to clean up ocean plastic market. And so, unless 4ocean releases their financial information in full, there's really no way to know if $20 for 1 pound of plastic is reasonable or a ripoff. Of course, 4ocean now says it's not exactly $20 for just 1 pound of plastic, because the trash tracker is far ahead of bracelet sales. Again though, what's the full story? How many bracelets have been sold? Does this number represent 10 times the number of bracelet sales? 2 times? 1 3/8 times? I think the exact number matters. Phrasing like far ahead of is wide open to interpretation. Now, 4ocean has said they will be releasing more updates and specifics on these questions, and I'll be interested to see those. But I've got to say, as I worked on the previous video, and as I saw people's reactions to it, and as I thought more about 4ocean, I only became more skeptical. And now, I find it kind of hard to trust anything they say, because they've demonstrated that they are quite willing to make misleading claims. I want to walk you through 3 of those. The first misleading claim comes in their main ad and some of their other literature, in which they say this:
employing captains and crews 7 days a week to clean our oceans and coastlines. We've operated out of 27 different countries.
Now, the reason they've included that claim in their ad, obviously, is to bolster their credibility and make you think, damn, 27 countries? These guys are really serious. They're making a global mission out of it. If you take the time to actually look at their website, though, you'll see they only have facilities in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Boca Raton, Florida, and Bali, Indonesia. So that's 3 countries. What about the remaining 24? Well, unless they're keeping some of their operations top secret, then that number is also counting volunteer events they've held in Ireland, Mexico, and other countries. Yeah, a volunteer event is nice, but I'm sorry, 4ocean. To me, hosting a 1-day cleanup event, or hell, even a 1-week cleanup event, does not count as operating out of that country. It counts as visiting that country and holding an event. I mean, I could tell you that I lived in Hong Kong for 4 days, but I was living while I was there, right? I mean, are you suggesting that I wasn't alive while I was in Hong Kong? Asshole. Now, the second misleading claim is one we've touched on before, the Great Big Ocean Plastic Recovery Vessel. So now, 4ocean tells us it's just not ready yet. Well then, what the hell were they doing 8 months ago, making videos and talking it up like it was ready to change the world? Pretty misleading, right? And to me, it's not just an innocent whoopsie-daisy, like, oh, we thought it was ready, but we ran into a snag. Because just like the 27 countries claim, they were using the ship to bolster their credibility. I mean, it's right here on their homepage, even now. And I can tell you, when I saw that, after first watching their ad, and before I had taken the time to think more critically about their company, I thought, damn, they've got this big ship going out and everything? It's pretty impressive. They even mentioned the OPR vessel in this comment from February of this year. Now, we know at that time the OPR vessel wasn't operational, and 4ocean must have known it wasn't operational. So if this comment isn't lying, then it's pretty damn close to it. And then the marketing materials for the OPR vessel contain an even more misleading claim, repeated several times, which is that the ship will prevent 90% of plastic pollution from reaching the ocean. They say that in this video.
They developed a plan to eliminate around 90% of the plastic currently entering the ocean.
And then they say it again in this one.
That's why we're launching the Ocean Plastic Recovery Campaign. It will end 90% of the world's ocean plastic pollution forever.
That is an absurd claim, particularly so since at the time they said it, they didn't even know if the ship was capable of doing anything at all. But even if the ship had been fully operational, to prevent 90% of plastic pollution from reaching the ocean, they would have to deploy a fleet of those things, operating 24 hours a day at the massive mouths and deltas of the Yangtze River, the Yellow River, the Pearl, the Mekong, the Ganges, the Indus, the Niger, the Nile, and more. That is never going to happen. And 4ocean knows it's never going to happen. So the claims they made about the OPR vessel are really irresponsible, and I think they should be pretty damaging to anyone's trust in their organization. Finally, there's a misleading claim that's implicit in nearly all of 4ocean's marketing and is made explicit in this video, entitled, "How can a single bracelet save the ocean?"
How can a single bracelet clean the ocean?
Then there's a bunch of stuff about 4ocean, and then this.
So how can a single bracelet clean the ocean? 1 pound at a time.
How can a single bracelet clean the ocean? It can't. 4ocean's bracelet is not saving the ocean. It's pretty misleading to even use the phrase cleaning the ocean. In reality, 4ocean is cleaning an infinitesimal fraction of the ocean. Their number of 5 million pounds of trash in 2.5 years sounds pretty good, until you remember that the ocean is estimated to have 330 billion pounds of trash in it, meaning 4ocean has cleaned up 1/66,000th of it. Now, I'm sure there will be some clever commenters who point out, well, it's more than you've done. True, it is, but then I also haven't made any recent videos asking, how can a single Danye har save the ocean? So, I feel that 4ocean's misleading claims make them an untrustworthy organization. And I want to reiterate here, the point is not they're untrustworthy, therefore they're evil. The point is simply they're untrustworthy, therefore I feel they haven't earned anyone's $20. If you disagree with me on that point, and you think I'm just a jealous hater who's bashing a great company doing a good thing, then there is a very powerful way for you to ensure that my bashing doesn't amount to much. Buy a bracelet. Sign up for 4ocean's monthly subscription plan. Buy their whole 2018 collection for $240. I'm sure that your financial support will easily outweigh any negative effects they've suffered as a result of this bald, bespectacled YouTuber's rantings. And 20 years from now, when the ocean is sparkling clean and these two guys are being celebrated as the greatest environmental heroes of the 21st century, you can laugh at me all you want.
Scale that to the most highest impact places in the world where all the plastic is pouring into the ocean.
And you think you can eradicate it because 90% comes...
With the help of our customers, absolutely.
All right, guys, we are 4ocean, and it's our job to clean the ocean. Let's go! Welcome aboard! 1 pound at a time.